Welcome into Locked On Phillies. The Phils have at least split in St. Louis. The series ended tonight, and some All Star makes and snubs for your Philadelphia Phillies. All of that on today's Locked On Phillies.
You are Locked On Phillies, your daily Philadelphia Phillies podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, this is Locked On Phillies. I'm your host, Connor Thomas. Been talking Phillies baseball for years over on 97.5 The Fanatic on the radio, NBC Sports Philly on the television, and now happy to be with you here as your host of Locked On Phillies. And I want to thank you for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And hey, Phillies fans, you're going to love this. Today's episode is brought to you by Sports Card Investor, the Sports Card Investor app. I want to welcome you to the world of trading cards reimagined. Stay tuned, and later in the show, I'm going to give you some more information on this awesome new tool for you're going to want to check out the Sports Card Investor app. Okay, so the first thing we're going to jump into, we're going to talk a little bit about the series out in St. Louis between the Cardinals and the Phillies. A lot went on this weekend that I haven't had a chance to get into yet with you, and I want to recap some stuff with the Phillies and what they've done so far out there in St. Louis. So game one out there, a nice 2-0 victory, a shutout win by the Philadelphia Phillies. Just outstanding pitching performance by Zack Wheeler, facing off against Adam Wainwright. And let me tell you, man, Alec Bohm with 2 solo home runs to put the Phillies up in that one. It's just beautiful. It's well done by Alec Bohm, well done by the Phillies pitching staff, and a great win. They shut out the Cardinals. They take that win there, and then they move on to game 2 of the series, in which also a shutout. This time, Kyle Gibson gets the win. Only a 1-0 win, the RBI, also coming by way of Alec Bohm, this time on a sacrifice fly in the top of the 9th inning. And then a sweat-inducing bottom of the 9th for Philadelphia Phillies fans. Corey Knebel had a chance to go in and get the save in a 1-run game. And, well, the Cardinals get a runner on first. Then a ground ball gets hit to Alec Bohm at third, who promptly throws it into right field. And just like that, it's first and third with no outs. Then there's a chopper of a ground ball hit to first base. Rhys Hoskins, there was a strikeout before that, or a short pop out before that. There was an out, and then moved the runner up there second and third with 1 out. A chopper of a ground ball gets it to first base for Rhys Hoskins. He makes a play on it, looks the runner back to third. Jepez was not running because not as fleet of foot as you'd like from a base runner in that scenario. And Bryson Stott did a great job of coming over to cover first base on that one. Hoskins makes a weird flip to the second baseman behind him. It was just a heads-up play by Stott. 2 outs, and then you go ahead and you take care of business, and you get the final out there and close the door against the Cardinals for back-to-back shutout wins. Now, yesterday's game, a little bit of a tough one. You lose 3-4. Thought you threw out the winning run at home, or rather the go-ahead run, at home on a Matt Vierling play in the 8th, but unfortunately you didn't. Then in the top of the 9th, the Phillies unable to score in a 4-3 game. Hey, it's a tough game. You had an opening by Nick Nelson. They went with the opener, and Nelson threw 2 innings. So you get that out of him, and then you get Jeurys Familia goes in for a second. Christopher Sanchez goes in for a while. It was a weird amalgamation of pitchers for the Philadelphia Phillies, and the fact that they even competed in that game I'm cool with. You don't come out with a win, but you already split the series. So what does that mean, splitting the series with the St. Louis Cardinals? Well, it means you won 2 of 3 in Philly, so that's 2-1. Then you win 2 more in St. Louis, so that's 4-1. Now, 2 games remaining after that, and the Cardinals took 1 of that. 1 more game left, so simple math. 4 games for the Phillies, 2 games for the Cardinals, 1 game remaining, which means even if the Cardinals win tonight, Phillies have won the season series. Now, the Cardinals are the team that's closest behind them for that final wild card spot, and the Phillies now have the tiebreaker over them. Who else do the Phillies have the tiebreaker over? San Diego, Los Angeles. Like, some of these teams, the Milwaukee Brewers, now the St. Louis Cardinals, West, the second team in the West. the top team in the Central, the second best team in the Central. The Philadelphia Phillies have the tiebreaker over all of them now after the season series against the St. Louis. It just puts them in a great spot to compete for that wild. Now, you need to keep winning games. The tiebreaker means nothing if you don't win enough games to be top better than those teams. So, hey, the team will have to keep competing. But, man, the Phillies have been really, really good as of late. The bullpen continues to be incredible, one of the best in baseball. And the offense, though it has been a little bit quiet in St. Louis despite the 2 wins. I mean, they've won 2 games and only scored 3 runs total in those 2 games that they won. Need that to wake up a little bit. But, hey, a tough pitching matchup with Adam Wainwright in one of them. A tough one later tonight with Mikolas going for the St. Louis Cardinals. He'll face Aaron Nola, so a great pitching matchup. Wouldn't expect too many runs in tonight's game. But they're still, the Phillies that is, tied for the 5th most runs per game on average in Major League Baseball. They're tied with the New York Nat category, trailing only the Yankees, Astros, Red Sox, and Dodgers. So, Phillies have an elite, prolific offense. They have a solid starting rotation. The bullpen has been incredible. Oh, and by the way, Kyle Schwarber hits another home run yesterday. He's got 21 prior to the All Star break. It's just an incredible number, the second most in Phillies history prior to the All Star break. He's on fire. He's got the second most home runs in all of baseball, I believe, second or third most in all of baseball. He's incredible. We'll talk coming up in the next segment, but want to just continue to give him his props. An interesting series coming up, though, that we'll talk about on tomorrow's episode with the Blue Jays, where the team will have to travel to Canada. There's going to be a lot of guys, it sounds like, unavailable because of vaccination status. That just makes today's game even more important in the series ender. 3 of 4 in St. Louis would be great. A split gets the job done, though. So we're already playing, as you'd call it, house money if you were at the casino gambling. So I can't complain about anything the Philadelphia Phillies have done in St. Louis. Rob Thompson has pulled strings, has made all the right moves. Things are great in Philadelphia Phillies land right now. And Buster Olney put out a tweet. Of course, Buster Olney, great baseball writer for ESPN, put out a tweet that officially, as of Sunday, had a 52.5% chance to make the playoffs in the National League. Better chance than not that they do make it in. So hopefully that proves correct. But coming up next, we're going to talk about, the Summer Club game. The All-Star game lineups and full roster have been announced. There are some Phillies on. There are some Phillies off. We'll talk about the All-Star makes and snubs for your fightins coming up. Listen, one guy, definite make. Another guy, a bit of a totally deserves it. And then there are 2 guys that were left off that totally should not have been. One should definitely be there. The other one you can make a case for, but there's always snubs. I'll break down everything going on with the All-Star game and a little bit of opinion on the Home Run Derby when we get next segment on today's episode of Locked On Phillies. All right, I want to tell you about our next sponsor. It's got a product I use every Athletic Greens, AG1. They're awesome. So what is this stuff? Well, it's one scoop of AG1, just a little green water bottle. It tastes great. They say green stuff, it doesn't taste good when you eat something. No, this stuff tastes great. It's awesome for your body. It's super healthy. It gets you, listen to this, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sources, probiotics, and adaptogens. I take it every morning before I head into the studio. I'm up early. I'm working long days. I need that energy, the natural energy it gives me. I need to make sure my immune system keeps up with the little sleep that I get. And Athletic Greens helps me with all of this. What's important about a multivitamin? Lots of people take some kind of multivitamin, but it's hard to choose one that's perfect for you, that has the high quality ingredients. Your body actually absorbs it, all of this stuff. Athletic Greens has done the work for you. They get that job done. Just take the Athletic Greens scoop and it covers everything. I've been doing it and I felt great since I've started Athletic Greens. And the best part, they're going to make it easy for you. They're going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D, 5 free travel packs. And all you have to do for that is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB network. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/MLB network to take ownership over your health and use and pick up the ultimate daily. All right, so the National League starting lineup had been announced. for the All Star game. We already knew who the starters were going to be. And yes, there was one Philly that got the nod to be a starter for the National League in the All Star game. And that was Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper becomes the first ever designated hitter for the National League in the All Star game. So he was named the starter. Now, unfortunately, he won't be able to take part in the All Star game because of his recovery from that broken thumb on his left hand. He will not play in the All Star game in Los Angeles, but he gets the nod as a starter, well deserved after not being a starter or named to the any capacity last year. Your reigning MVP gets the nod this year. And I like that historic stuff because, this is the year 2022. Some point in the year 2052, we're going to be sitting around and there's going to be some trivia question. Who is the first ever National League All-Star designated hitter? And we're going to be able to say, oh, of course, that was Bryce Harper of the Philadelphia Phillies, that Hall of Famer that was one of the great Phillies of all time. Hopefully we're saying that when everything's all said and done. He will be a Hall of Famer, but hopefully an all-time great Philly, one that brings championships to this city again on the diamond. But props to Bryce Harper. There was no doubt it was going, and he gets the nod there to be the designated hitter. Only one other on the All-Star team for the National League. And believe it or not, I called it back in like the second week of June. And I say, if this guy continues to hit the way he's hitting, and I know it's a crazy stretch he's on right now, but maybe he'll continue to keep swinging the bat and be really hot for the rest of the month. He could sneak in, and that is Kyle Schwarber. You might have heard me say that on 97.5 The Fanatic on the radio show I do on the weekends, 9 to noon every Sunday on 97.5 The Fanatic. But I called it. I said, hey, if Kyle Schwarber stays hot, he's going to be an all-star for the National League. And sure enough, Kyle Schwarber is one of the bench players for the National League. Now, he's not starting in the outfield, and I'm fine with that. Slow starts, the really good outfielders in the National League. Think Mookie Betts as the it's going to be tough to be a starter in the National League for the All-Star team. But Kyle Schwarber is able to make the All-Star team. He will be in attendance. He will be the Phillies' second of 2 representatives out there in Los Angeles. Good. Deserve it. He's got 28 home runs already. He's mashing the ball. He fully deserves to be out there. We'll talk more about Kyle Schwarber in a second, but I want to get to the snubs. Now, you'll notice I've said 2 All-Stars, and neither of them are pitchers. Zack Wheeler, Aaron Nola, both not on the National League roster. And honestly, it's absolutely preposterous that Zack Wheeler is not an All-Star this year. Can't believe it. He's the reigning Cy Young runner-up. So it's not like he just burst on the scene this year and no one knew who he was. He's having an absolutely outstanding season. Just incredible numbers for the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm just going to pull up his stats right now so that we can run through exactly who are this year. And it is absolutely worthy of an All-Star nod. It's not like he's had a huge regression or anything. In 2022, all he's done is had a 3.2 WAR. He's 8-4 with a 2.46 ERA. Thrown nearly 100 innings, struck out 104 already. His whip just above 1. I mean, there's no reason why Zack Wheeler should not be an All-Star. I don't understand it. I don't know how it's possible. Now, as of right now, there's still potential manager ads. There's still potential additions and everything. They may find a way to sneak in before everything's all said and done, because stuff can change. There may be guys who don't travel. There could be late injuries, stuff like that. Zack Wheeler deserves to absolutely be on the NL All-Star roster. Unfortunately, he's not. And, man, I don't know what else to say. He gets snubbed, and maybe that lights a fire under him. I don't think he really cares all that much in the grand scheme of things. Like, does he deserve to be there? Yes. Will he be annoyed that he didn't make it? Yeah. But I don't think it's going to give him crazy motivation for the second half of the schedule. It could, though. It could give him a little bit of that. Okay, well, screw you guys. I'm going to shove the rest of the way. And I'm going to prove to you that I should have been an All-Star over my next however many starts he gets the rest of the way, another 15 more starts or whatever it is before the season is over. Absolutely think he deserved to be there, though, and we'll see. And he's not going to make 15 more starts, but however many more opportunities he gets. Now, Aaron Nola is an interesting one. Could you make a case for Aaron Nola to be an All-Star? Yeah, you could. Aaron Nola's had a pretty darn good year for your Philadelphia Phillies. He's not been as good as you'd expect a surefire all-star to be. That's fair. But has he been in the conversation? I mean, absolutely. He's 5-6, so the record isn't great, but who cares about the record? A 3.15 ERA as they stay in the conversation. The 111.1 innings leads the ball club, and he's only allowed 88 hits. He's struck out 120. I mean, he struck out 16 more than Zack Wheeler has. Obviously, he got more innings there, almost 15 more innings than Zack Wheeler. But still, this is a guy that you could argue with a whip below 1.925, the best whip on the team. Anytime you get a whip below 1, you know he's nasty. An ERA plus of 129, and you're just looking at 431 batters faced. The batting average against, let me just go ahead and find that down there for you. Yeah, I mean, he's absolutely dominant. He's got opposing hitters batting. I'm just going to pull up his specific page because I was just on the Phillies page. Batting average against for Aaron Nola. Oh my God, just absolutely minuscule numbers when it comes to what he's seeing this year. Player value pitching, the WAR, he's got a 3.4 WAR so far in 2022. He's just been so good. I mean, a 2.16 batting average against. When I look at a guy, that's a guy that also should be considered. Now, he has more numbers than Zack Wheeler because he's pitched more innings. And Zack Wheeler's probably been better this year, but Aaron Nola is a snub too. Zack Wheeler, more of a case. Aaron Nola, we'll talk about those two coming up. We'll do off the poll in our final segment, and we'll talk about the snub, and I want to get a feeling on what you think about it. The one other thing I want to say as we go through the conversation about the National League All-Star team and the All-Star festivities, a lot of talk about Kyle Schwarber going into the home run derby, obviously one of the more prolific home run hitters in the game right now. I absolutely do not want Kyle Schwarber to bat in the home run derby. Don't need him to do it. He's done it already. He actually lost to Bryce Harper in that one down in Washington. So Bryce Harper has faced his current teammate now, Kyle Schwarber, in the home run derby. He's already done it. If he had never done it before, I could understand him being like, hey, this is a once-in-a-lifetime type of thing. Getting this opportunity is a cool nod. I'd love to take advantage of it and just be able to say I did it one day. Sure, I get that. He's already done it. I don't want it to mess up his swing. And more importantly than that, because I don't totally buy the whole conspiracy swings by just trying to jack home runs like that, it definitely fatigues them. Swinging the bat hundreds of times one night can certainly tire these guys out, especially a guy that's playing in the All-Star game. Will get in a bat at some point in the All-Star game. Like, I don't need him to swing that many times in one day. I need him to be ready to go for the second half of the season for the Phillies because he is the main component of their offense right now. So, yeah, Kyle, I'm glad you made it. Glad you have a in the home run derby. Don't need to see him do that. And we'll keep an eye on when that comes out to see if he's actually going to participate. But I will be very happy if he decides to participate in that home run derby. Just how I feel. But we'll see how he ends up deciding. Now, next up, we're going to wrap up this episode with Off the Poll. And I have a question about Aaron Nola and Zack Wheeler that I need you to answer to see where the fan base stands. Because we can be overly homers as Philadelphia fans. We can be overly critical as Philadelphia fans. I want to round out this episode by seeing which category we fall in when it comes to Aaron Nola and Zack Wheeler. We'll talk about that coming up next as we wrap up today's episode of Locked On Phillies. Okay, whether you're a casual card collector or looking for exciting alternative investment opportunities, the free sports card investor app has something for you. They got sports cards for everybody. You could go ahead and check it out as just a collector. You could use it as a way to buy and sell cards and try and make some money. You got to check out breakout stars, prospects debuting. There's a value of there that you can use. It's awesome. And you can get great deals on first cards ever released. So think about it. Like a player like Adley Rutschman, who came up midseason, a top prospect for the Baltimore Orioles, the number one prospect in all of baseball when he came up. he makes a jump to the big leagues. And all of a sudden, you can use the free Sports Card Investor app to check the prices of his rookie card and see if you can get a great deal before he becomes one of the great hitters in baseball, like people expect him to be, and a great catcher there for Baltimore. They've won 8 in a row. His stock going up. You could have bought in on that. See some young players coming up late for the Phils. Griff McGarry is a Phillies prospect who just made the top 100 players list, a guy to keep an eye on there. Maybe look and see if you can get a card for him. And when he comes up in a couple years, maybe that'll play into some money in your pocket. Also, the nostalgia in old players. You can find some old cards, like go back in time and see who's available there to purchase. Maybe you just want to hang on to an old card, like, I don't know, Ryan Howard card, a Chase Utley playing card, a Jimmy Rollins playing card. You can stay up to date with the late history and get the old ones. If you're interested in just getting into sports, you can find great deals on some of these cards as starter cards. Just get into the industry, get into following sports, or you could collect your favorite players like Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, guys like that. It's just awesome. Collecting sports cards is something that can bring families together, kids, son, father, daughter, mother, anything. If you're someone's into sports, it's a great way to do it too. What I want you to do is download the Sports Card Investor app today. It's available for free in the Google Play and Apple App stores, or you can go to sportscardinvestor.com/lockedon. All right, we're going to wrap up with Off the Pole. Now, Off the Pole is a segment not talking about Kyle Schwarber's home runs that he hits off the foul pole every once in a while, but it's a poll question on Twitter, and you can find it at LO_Phillies. You can also find it retweeted from my account at ConnorThomas975. And we ask a poll question and put it out, and then in the next episode, I respond to the answers. Our poll question for today: how do you feel about, this is the basis of it, not the exact question, but how do you feel about the Aaron Nola and Zack Wheeler snubs at the NL All Star roster? What should have happened? And let me figure out how to word this. Okay. What do you feel should have happened when it comes to Aaron Nola and Zack Wheeler potentially making the NL All Star roster? 4 options on this one. Both should have made it. Zack Wheeler should have made it, not Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola should have made it, not Zack Wheeler. Neither should have made it. Now, I imagine neither should have made it will be the lowest one, but we'll see how it plays out. So basically, you get your option of both: Wheeler, not Nola, Nola, not Wheeler, or neither. And we'll have to see how everyone feels, because maybe I'm overblowing how much of a snub it is for Aaron Nola to not be on the team. And I think we are all in the same spot with Zack Wheeler, or maybe you feel both should have made it. A couple of options there, and I'll give my thoughts tomorrow, deeper thoughts based on what you end up saying in your responses. But I'll put that out on our Twitter account once this episode's posted, and you can go ahead and respond to that. So that's the end of our show today for Locked On Phillies. I want to thank you one more time for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On MLB Prospects. The draft is coming up, and Lindsey Crosby knows everything about some draft available players from high school, college. I mean, guys that are potentially having trades for at the trade deadline. Everything that's going on with prospects, Lindsey Crosby knows it. He does a great job on that show. Again, it's Locked On MLB Prospects, and it's available wherever you get your podcast. So check that out, and thank you for joining us for today's Locked On Phillies. Continue to rate, review, subscribe, throw likes, everything. Appreciate the continued support. We'll continue churning out great content as the Phillies wrap up their series in St. Louis. We will have a recap of the series finale game and a preview of their series short 2-game set with Toronto on tomorrow's episode. Can't wait, and I will talk to you then on our next Locked On Phillies.